Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Ready Set podcast. I'm Tony.
I'm Angus.
I'm Derek.
I'm Ricky.
And Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for tuning in. 2022. Can you believe that? For me, I feel like the last 2 years have been a bit of a blur.
It was a full-on blur. For me, personal growth, I don't know.
Yeah. So how have you guys dealt with, like, maybe just reflect on the last year or so leading up to the new year and how it's affected you or your experiences?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of negative when it comes to, especially with COVID that's happening right now, but I find the great part of it is working at home. That is amazing.
Yes.
Hopefully my coworkers don't listen to this, but you do some work, you have some spare time, do some laundry.
Yep.
You do get a lot of stuff done. That's like the big positive when it comes to working at home. But of course, can't really go out. I really want to travel. That's something I've been dying to do. I was supposed to go to Taiwan before COVID happens. Like, that was planned.
Really?
Yeah.
In 2020?
Yeah. I was supposed to go with one of our friends, like Vince. And then that didn't happen. And we were just like, oh, maybe next year.
You guys didn't buy the tickets for that and cancel?
No, Vince was saying we should buy the tickets. I was like, I don't know, man. Let's just wait it out and see what happens. And then it got worse, right? Like lockdowns, all that stuff. So then he was like, okay, maybe next year. And I'm like, oh, maybe. But then you guys, like Derek, you and Vince went on supposed to go on a cruise.
We were supposed to go on a cruise.
And then he gave you a refund for the longest time, right?
So what Vince told me was they gave him a credit and then a partial refund. So a partial credit and a partial refund. I don't know if he talked to the sales agent to see if he could get back the full refund because there's no cruises coming to Vancouver anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone wants to go on the cruises after.
Oh no, man! It's like a COVID pool, right? In those ships.
They have crazy offers though because of COVID. Like, they're desperately trying to draw people in. They have free drink packages, free excursions.
The fine line is saying you'll be stuck
free
on
Wi-Fi and all that stuff. They're just throwing it in because they're desperate.
We're not responsible if you catch something.
Catch it, and if you're stuck and locked into the boat for months.
That happened when COVID first broke out, right? There was a cruise that was stuck.
They lost a lot of their business, right? Because a good majority of their, not only cruises but tourism in general suffered greatly during COVID, right? But a lot of their target audience specifically is elderly people, which is basically the highest risk for COVID. Yeah. And if you're like, well, if their majority target audience is scared to go on cruises, they're gonna be in the red for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Where were you and Vince gonna go on the cruise?
Oh, just up to Alaska, actually.
Oh, the Alaskan cruise.
I did that with him already.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we invited you.
I guess they liked it.
But you were busy.
Oh, you really liked it.
Yeah, and then so we were going to ask the others as well to join, but after COVID happened, we were like, okay, well, good thing we didn't ask yet because the rest of them you guys would have been stuck with the same issue where you guys got the ticket and then had to wait for partial refunds. Right?
Yeah.
So,
that happened to me just before COVID broke out too. One of my best friends was getting married in 2020, summer of 2020, and then we were supposed to go on a stag to Montreal. So I was really looking forward to it because it was my first time going there with all these guys and just having a good time and all that. So I booked my flight. It was supposed to be in April. And then when everything broke out, almost every day we check in and be like, hey, this happened. There's another case that broke out. The bars are starting to close there. And then we just decided to okay, let's just pull out. It's not worth the risk. We don't want to get stuck there and have to quarantine or whatever, right? In lockdown. Air Canada didn't want to refund my money.
Oh my!
That was a big issue in the news too. Yeah, there were stories.
Yeah,
stories of big groups that had weddings in Cancun and stuff. All their guests couldn't get refunds, and so Air Canada was just holding hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Like holding these people
airlines was laying off tons of their employees.
Almost all of their employees.
Exactly. So luckily I had to call back almost every week. I was starting to get pretty frustrated at one point. They offered me a voucher, a credit, what Vince probably got, and then finally some like summer of last year, like a year later, they're like, okay, we're finally gonna release these refunds if you call in. So I was like, oh, thank God, got like my $700 back.
Oh, what was the voucher? Just free.
It was like a credit.
Oh.
But like at that point, like who knew when we are gonna travel again,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And they're holding your money there.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Thought they give you like a bag of peanuts. Be like,
yeah, exactly. Like,
So, I'm sorry about that, but here's a bag of peanuts.
yeah. So
I would say 2021 was a bit better if you want to travel. It's like they opened the borders for certain countries, not all countries, but you have to deal with both the testing and the paperwork necessary in order for you to fly.
Yeah.
And then, so like, would you guys ever think it worth it for you guys that you want to travel to deal with all that? Like, you fly over there, you have to quarantine.
Yeah, do your
and
testing,
all your
mandatory testing.
Would it
fly
be
back.
worth it for you guys to fly over there
yeah.
if you got to do all that?
Did you guys end up crossing the border these last? Okay,
I
what
did.
was the
I did.
experience
I
like?
did.
What happened?
This was, when was it? Right after the flood in Abbotsford.
Oh,
and whatever.
oh,
So
okay.
like, oh no, that was the beginning of December.
Yeah, yeah.
So beginning of December, they opened the border for all of them for driving, right? Because
Okay.
borders were always open for flying.
Just last December?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This past December. So in order to drive down and come back, you had to download the Arrive Can app, and then you had to submit your declaration of like if you got your 2 shots and whatever, and then they ask you a few other like questions related to your travel, like how long it will be and whatnot. So I was just going down there to pick up some packages that I've ordered, and I
Just sitting there at
yeah
the
it,
post
it was sitting
office.
for like over a year.
Oh my.
So I really wanted to pick up my package, so they opened it. I went down, did my Arrive Can app, which is pretty easy. Like you scan your passport, got my package, came back up, and then at the Canadian side of the border is where they ask you the things. So I told them, yeah, I did the app already, and then they saw that I was done. Yeah, it was really smooth. But 1 out of 10 that I've heard, 1 out of 10 people will have a
Random test?
random test.
Really?
So the government, Canadian government, mails you a test that you have to do, and they'll be contacting you at your home to see if you're at home and stuff. It's
Okay.
like kind of a hassle if you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
randomly selected.
Right.
But yeah, I was pretty lucky. So I got my package, and then I don't think I will be going down there for a bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised that when the borders open, you didn't have to take like a test like 48 hours or 24 hours before that, because there was a YouTuber named Outdoor Chef Life. I don't know if you guys watch him.
No.
He was in Seattle, like does like fishing and stuff like that. And he was trying to drive up through Vancouver to get to like Alaska or something.
Yeah.
And then like he didn't know that he had to take a test that was like within 24 to 48 hours. So he got rejected in crossing into Canada.
Oh my god.
So I don't know if it's because like maybe they're more lenient for us to cross in the US, or if it's like a Canadian thing where for Americans. So
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, the testing for like flights right now is a lot more stringent than this crossing through the land border, I'm assuming. Based on what I've heard anyways. I don't know. It would never be worth it for me to go through all that hassle, especially if I went to a country where I had to do additional quarantining in order for me to go there. Because think about it, like if I were to go to, I guess, one of the best places like Asia right now is like you go into Asia and you have all your papers. Even then, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks just to...
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them is
right,
like
yeah.
5 days or 7 days.
Yeah.
Korea was like
Put,
2 weeks.
put you in a
right?
hotel.
Yeah.
Mikey Chen went there.
Yeah.
Stayed in a hotel for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
you're like...
But they pay for everything. Like
Yeah.
they
No,
give you food.
you
at
have
the
to
door.
pay for
No,
the
you
hotel.
have to pay.
It's like
You
over
have to
2K.
Yeah.
It's
And they barely feed you.
What about the
Yeah.
supplies?
It's like one
so
meal a
do
day.
you pay for the supplies too, or did they
Yeah.
give it to you?
What you pay for covers the hotel and like the
Meals.
2 meals a day they give you or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like
Bag of
barely.
chips.
Like, I was watching that video and
Yeah.
they barely
Yeah,
got
it
any
looked
food.
rough. It looked
They're like on the lucky days, like, oh, I got like tonkatsu. Like, this is so nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was dying.
Yeah, and it's like that's like a majority of the, like, who has more than 2 weeks of a vacation really? In a like a given, like when you take a long vacation, maybe you take it for like a month, and then
Yeah.
if you have to do the 2 week quarantine, that's like half your vacation gone already. and that's usually like the majority of people's vacations for any given calendar year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But I still have seen people who just like they just can't stand it anymore, and they have to get out of the country. I was like, wow, you really can't stand it here, can you?
Yeah. Do you guys know like the travel regulations now? Because I just flew back to Prince Rupert, but it's domestic flight.
Yes.
And then you just needed that declaration of whatever.
Oh, like your vaccine
vaccine
status?
passport thing. Yeah. But I don't know if like we fly to Cancun. I've seen like one of our mutual friends went to like Cancun recently. So I don't know like what that process was, or
We gotta get her as a guest one day.
Yeah, it's probably like a lot of papers. Definitely would have to have like a lot of papers.
but I don't think they have the quarantine. Like it's not as strict as when the outbreak happened in like 2020, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everything was like
Especially-
locked down.
Yeah.
I find like some of the more touristy destinations probably a bit more lax.
They need that.
They need the money.
Yeah,
Come on.
they need the traffic to
Yeah.
pay for the hotels. and all
Like
that.
the economy is doing so bad
Yeah.
already, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, make up for it.
Yeah.
Like Tokyo, I think they postponed their Olympics for
Yeah.
a while too, right? And they
Yeah.
lost a lot of money.
It was supposed to be 2020, and that was like the year COVID broke out, and then they made it happen in 2021.
Yeah.
But they like kicked all the athletes out like within 48 hours after their last event was done. So like nobody could stay and sightsee basically, because they're like, your last event, you have 48 hours to get out of the country or else you're in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, Dubai is pretty funny. Do you guys hear about it? Like they had some sort of game that was all set up. Like they got banners of everything for 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That was pre-planned, and then 2020 didn't happen, so they canceled it, postponed it to 2021. Didn't happen. 2022 now, or what was it? Like,
It's going to be
beginning of
Beijing this year, right?
Well,
Wait,
no, it wasn't
that's winter.
Olympics. It was like some other game,
Uh-huh.
some sort of competition,
Okay.
and they're just reusing the same banner, so everything is still Dubai 2020. And the athletes are competing in 2021 or 2022, like late 2021. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's hard
Just like a
times,
running
man.
joke. Well, they have enough money there.
They
I'm
have
sure
enough
to
money
change the
to-
sign,
to
but
change
it's just like a
banners.
running joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I don't
funny.
know.
Yeah.
Did you guys find for 2021 anyways did you feel better about it than 2020, and like did it like mental health wise, did you guys feel like it was like a much lighter burden on your like mental health, or like for their like at least being able to like move out a bit more, like less restrictions than 2020 did kind of deal?
Yeah. I think in 2020, so when the pandemic first broke out and then we're like working from home, it feels good because now you save like 2 hours a day, like transiting downtown, transiting back.
Car insurance, gas money.
Exactly. And then like you're just at home, you're a lot more productive work-wise, and you have more time to do everything else. But then after a while, like when 2020 last year came, 2021, I think a part of me kind of started missing that social interaction. So that's one thing. And I realized that I was like sitting so much throughout the day. I was working a lot more because you have your workstation
God.
at home. And then let's say you get emails at like 6 p.m. Usually you'd be clocked out already, like heading home, right? But now you feel like, well, I'll just check it so tomorrow I have less work.
Yeah.
So I realized I was working more. I was sitting more. So then after a while, I was like, okay, this is probably very unhealthy for mental health wise and physically.
Yes. Your
yeah.
back, man. Your lower back.
Yeah.
It's just screaming at you. It's like,
Yeah,
get
there was
the heck
one
up.
day during the summer of last year, 2021, where I had to go downtown for an appointment. And I took my usual route. I took the bus, the SkyTrain, and I was like walking up like one of the staircases for this like Brard SkyTrain. I was huffing and puffing. I was like, I'm only like, this is a bad sign. Like I gotta, get active again. But just like, like, those are things you kind of don't think about, right? When you're forced to like walk or transit every day, right? You kind of miss that physical
Yes.
aspect.
I
so.
think there was that's like one of the major things too. It's like I know people have like Fitbits or like like those pedometers, and like before when I had to go up to work, like I use my phone's one, so like if I were to take a look at my average, like actually physically going to work, I could average out like 8 to 10,000 steps a day. But like when I'm working from home, I'd be lucky enough if I had like 6,000, and that's because I decided to purposely go out for a walk.
Whoa.
You walk to the fridge to get some food.
Back and forth, 6,000 steps at a
Well,
time.
oh shit! That's really low. Okay, so I haven't had to work from home, so sorry, I haven't had the privilege of working from home.
It's not really a privilege, but
Yeah, like in the beginning it's great.
yeah, it feels good.
And then later, I think it's very hard to distinguish work and home because it's in the same living space, right?
Yeah.
That's what I get. So that's why now after work I can't be in my office anymore. I have to get out. Like, it just reminds me of work. Using my computer reminds me of work. So I'd rather be in the living room.
Right.
Yeah.
But even then, for you, your pedometer says like 6,000 in a day to 10,000.
If I'm working from home, it's about 6,000-ish. If I'm going to like up to UBC doing that, I walk around during lunchtime, it's about 8 to 10,000. I'm more closer to 10,000 on an average daily basis. But like that's about it for me because a lot of the times when I do that's actually like pretty good for me. And then like on top of that, I go to the gym, right? So I don't really feel the need to do more cardio
Because
than I
you're
do.
gym,
Yeah.
Even on my slowest days and most lazy days, I average like 16,000 steps.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's
that's
good.
good.
Yeah.
I think average you're supposed to get 10K.
Oh, really?
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
10,000 at least. 10 to 20.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, it depends on your metabolism rate too. And all
So,
that
Yeah.
stuff.
so then working from home so much, do you guys have like an ergonomic chair?
No.
No.
I
don't think
sorta,
so.
I guess.
I
Well,
got one from Costco. It says ergonomic, but I don't know how.
how
good
great
that
it
is.
is.
Oh,
Yeah, those things are expensive.
they're
It's
really.
like,
they could get up to like $600-700, right? And then you go up to $1,000.
Wait, so what does
Yeah.
that term actually mean? It means it supports your spine in a way
yeah,
that's...
lumbar.
Mm.
It's I know.
There's like 5-6 different settings that you could do.
Yeah.
Just do like the tilting and
okay.
the resistance for tilting.
The padding.
The padding,
it's just
yeah.
like,
It's
Okay.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I was really lucky at the beginning of COVID. Just I needed to get a new chair because my regular computer chair was starting to fall apart,
Yeah.
and I found a used one for like $60 or $70
Oh,
Wow.
from Facebook.
okay.
And it was a used one,
What
but
brand is it?
Ergocentric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like an actual name brand.
Reputable.
Yeah, but it's like a super ugly like puke green color. But I was like,
No one's
whatever,
gonna see
nobody's
it.
gonna see it. It's
No
just
one's
for,
gonna
it's
see
just
it.
for yeah. I was really lucky.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm part of like the sort of like health and safety committee in my department, and like there's a lot of newsletters that go out that say like even though you might not have done this in the office, but you should definitely do it at home. Is you need to take breaks and you
yes.
need to
Oh,
stand
yeah.
up,
Go on a
walk around,
Yeah.
and
Stretch.
then go
Yeah.
Stretch
go
your
back
eyes
on
too,
there.
right? You gotta look somewhere
Yeah.
far and all
Yeah,
that, especially without a
look into the
computer.
distance for I think it was 6 seconds or something
Oh
like that.
man, I don't do that.
Yeah, and then you refocus.
Except when you're doing laundry.
I don't do laundry. I always check my emails. Put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, he has his headphone on mic on mute, and it's like in the Zoom
In a
he's
meeting,
folding
yeah.
his, folding his underwear on there.
I'm always in the meeting. All right.
It's multitasking. That's an important skill.
Yes.
Important skill. Yeah.
So what about you, Angus? Unmutes. Oh yeah, that's good for me too. All right.
Yeah. Last 2 years have been pretty tough. I think most of us or all of us in certain aspects.
Everyone.
Yeah.
So with 2022, what are you guys looking forward to? And do you think that this pandemic there will be an end to it in the near future?
What I'm looking forward to is definitely traveling. It's a big one for me. I do want to travel, but I don't think it is gonna happen. I feel like it might.
Do you think
Yeah.
there's going to be still like some restrictions in place or?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? Because a lot of malls right now are still open, but
Yeah, but like there are like Angus said, I don't think it's going away. It'll definitely become like a seasonal thing, like the flu shots. You know how we have flu shots every single year? It'll be like you don't have to get the shot every single year, but it'd be nice if you got it every other year just to help protect you against the different strains that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to figure out when the travel restrictions were. Like, so traveling's never been super big for me. Like, I like going with like you guys, like going on like group trips with you guys. We had one in 2019 in November. We went to Las Vegas right before 2020 hit, and then in March we got shut down. So that was like sort of my little trip for a while. But like, since it will become seasonal, like it's never gonna go away kind of thing. It's like, I wonder when the countries will start being like, we'll treat it like the flu. Then like the restrictions will be lifted entirely, kind of deal.
It's gotta be the vaccination, right?
Yeah.
Was it like 10% of the unvaccinated take up more than 50% of the beds in a hospital? It's gotta be the vaccination level.
Yeah.
So that's where it really comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how bad was the side effects after you got your vaccination? Like how bad did you guys all got sick, right?
I didn't get sick.
Oh,
Luckily,
really?
Yeah.
I just
wow.
got a sore arm. That's
yeah,
it.
same.
Yeah,
Really?
Sore arm.
Sore arm.
That's it?
Extra sore arm the next day. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
Even the
Same
second
here.
one?
Second one, I didn't have anything.
I didn't have anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are
Just
lucky.
we're lucky.
You
Yeah.
got really lucky.
What doses did you guys get?
I got Moderna.
Oh, okay.
I got Moderna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got
Pfizer's.
Pfizer. Yeah.
Pfizer's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like literally, so for the second shot, I got the sore arm again, but I got a minor headache. It went away after 2 days, which was okay for me. But I think Angus got it the worst.
Yo, I got so bad.
Oh.
The first time I got it was a sore arm, and I had like slight chills
Yeah.
and a little bit of fever. And I'm like, okay. 2 days later, I'm like, okay, I'm fine. The second shot, I was like, okay, should be okay. Sore arm, not a big deal. And then the next, I think it was that night, I start getting chills.
Oh.
And then I was like, wow. You know, when your body start aching, your muscles, all that stuff. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, not too bad. And I start going to sleep. And I was starting to freeze. I never had chills to that degree in a very long time. So when I sleep, I like to sleep like topless. I like it when it's freezing cold. Like if you can put me in a refrigerator and I sleep there, that's
same.
my ideal place.
Yeah.
But man, that night I had a blanket over. I'm like, wow, I'm still freezing. And I take out like the thick winter one, put it on top of me. I'm like, I'm still freezing.
Yeah.
I go take another blanket. I put on top of me. Still cold. I take a third. So I basically had like 4 layers on top of me. I was freezing my ass off. And then I start putting like pants on. And I put like long sleeves.
That's when you know it's really serious. Is
It's
when
so
you put your
serious.
pants on.
And okay, I never wear socks to bed. I freaking wore long socks, like the wool kind.
Oh,
my
man.
god.
I was fully like, man, bundled up. It's as if I was going out. But oh my god, I was sweating too, but I was freezing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then that night was just terrible. The next day, it felt slightly better. But I still went to work because I'm a great employee.
Oh my god.
Nice.
And then during
You
our
have
meeting,
sick days for a reason. You don't kill yourself.
I went during my meeting. We had like daily syncs, so one of my coworkers like, "Yo, Angus, you don't look too hot."
One of your coworkers is like,
No,
what's that chattering sound
because
out
I
of
was
here?
like, I was bundled up. I had a jacket on, and I had my hands like scrunched up on my sleeves because it was so cold. And then he was saying like, "Yo, you don't look too hot. Maybe you should, I think Angus should like take a day off." And as a good employee, I said, "No, I got some stuff to do.
Respect.
I need to get some stuff done."
the
Respect.
grind.
Yeah, but I should have took that day off. Something I really should have took the day off. But in the end, I was like, oh, you know what? I'll finish my stuff off and I'll end the day early. But I had so much stuff to do. I didn't finish until like 4:30, and then after I just crashed. I crashed for like 3 hours, so I was so tired.
That's another example of the work-life balance, right?
Yes.
Where you
Yes.
almost feel bad, like you're actually sick. You're not faking it.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
calling in saying,
yeah.
"Hey, I can't make it into office today," but you almost feel like you have work to do and like you want to get it done because it's just gonna be there the day after.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and especially like
Piles.
Yeah.
yeah, I have to like provide feedback and more of the managing side, so I felt bad. I had to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
And it was on a Friday too, right? So I don't want to be that person, but
Perfect timing for the long weekend.
I
Hey,
know.
I can't work today. It's for Friday, but
but hey, I put in the work. But man, that was pretty bad. I think I was sick for like 3 or 4 days. Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, I messaged him right afterwards, and he's like, "Derek, I'm so cold."
Oh,
Yeah, I was like freezing. I never felt that. And then I had a headache too, like a migraine. Started seeing stars for a little bit because you're staring at the computer and it's so bright. You're just like
blue light and all that stuff.
Yeah,
too.
so it wasn't good. But
Yeah.
luckily I meal prepped.
Yeah.
So, just microwave some food and you're
Good to
good.
go.
So, did any of you guys make any like New Year's resolutions for 2022, or like did you guys like? It doesn't have to be New Year's resolutions because I believe in that. A lot of the times, a lot of people don't go through with their New Year's resolutions, so it can be more of like goals.
So you're saying you enable yourself?
Well,
Giving yourself an out.
Yeah.
yeah, but
It's like,
it's
should I have a
how
New-
well I know myself, guys. You know,
should I do a New Year's resolution? You know what? I'm not going to do it. It's okay.
We'll just walk into a gym on the first day of the year and go into the second day and just see like half
Yo,
the party
it's so
there.
fun. It's always
They
like the
disappear.
first week,
Yeah.
second week, and then after
They're all
it's
into
completely
it.
empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, any goals or like sort of aspirations you can say for 2022? See what we can get from it.
Anything? For me, I want to. Well, first thing, I'm gonna get married in the spring.
Woo! Here we
So,
go!
thank you. Yeah, you guys are all coming. So that's something that's kind of like on my radar right now, where we're just like focus on kind of prepping for that, and then right after that, hopefully, like there's not another crazy like outbreak or something, because like we want to travel right after.
Yeah.
Oh, for honeymoon?
Honeymoon.
Yeah,
Do you have a destination in mind?
we do. I'm not gonna mention it yet, just in case. I don't want to jinx anything.
Okay, okay,
but
okay,
it's,
okay.
it's not gonna be somewhere crazy like far.
Nice.
Just keeping it within like
Tropical kind of?
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Like tropical,
yes.
like just somewhere you can relax. Because when we went to Japan, we're like every day we're
Yo,
like
too
stressing,
much,
we're waking
too
up
much.
early.
It's a different experience.
Yeah.
I think like I do like the get to chill out.
yeah.
Not like rushing from destination to destination because you're putting your body in a lot of stress, right? But you don't feel it because you're
Yeah.
super
You're always
excited.
go, go, go.
You're seeing
Yeah.
new things all the time. Like,
It's
but
the
then
adrenaline.
But then, like at night, you just crash,
Yeah.
or when you fly back, you're just so tired, and you gotta go back to work. You're like, oh my god, I need another week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Recovery, yeah.
Yeah. So after that, hopefully we can travel, and then I don't have any like specific goals, but one thing is that I would like to maybe kind of work on some of the relationships in my life, because even like during this last couple years, I didn't really see like my sister or her family a lot. I barely saw my dad, and some of my friendships, like I barely saw them. Partly because of course the pandemic, but another reasons like you're being so, like I was so used to just being inside all the time that after a while like I was a bit more of an introvert during this last 2 years. So that's something I want to work on after like the wedding stuff and all that, just to be more social and go out a lot
Reach out more.
Yeah, and even like go to the office sometimes just to see my coworkers, because I work with these people like 8 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
And we're just always chatting and
Oh, is it optional for you guys? to
it's
work from
optional.
home?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not mandatory yet, so that's something that I'm kind of lucky, I guess. Like I'm not forced to go in, but I'd like to go in like at least like once a week just to see people and like if you have a team, just to
It's like a team bonding. Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to know who you're working with.
yeah.
Make sure that person's not a
Weirdo?
sly fox. Trying to stab you in the back.
Doing laundry during
yeah, I don't do laundry.
during meetings, but yeah, that's
we,
all.
we gotta cut that out. Yeah.
Those are the main things, and of course, ready set. I'm hoping we can pump out a certain amount of videos this year, but that's something that scheduling and all that we still gotta
Yeah.
talk about and decide. But
Right.
Yeah,
I have a number in mind.
Everyone has like a full-time job, so
Yeah.
I feel like the older we're getting, it's a lot harder to meet up and match the schedule. Scheduling is
Exactly.
like very hard because everyone has their own stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really just like a side creative outlet for all of us, right? Like just
Yeah,
something to
exactly.
blow some steam off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if we have fun with it, maybe we'll bring some of our other friends on if they're comfortable in front of the camera.
Man, start talking trash.
Yeah,
Friends.
that's what I'm really looking for. Yeah.
And they don't
Gossiping.
find out about it until the podcast later. They're like, "What the heck, man?"
You're like, and because we don't have the guts to tell them in person. That's why you tell them, you say it here, and then you send them the video, be like, yo, check this new video on our release. And then after, they'll be like, stop being friends.
if they watch it.
If they watch it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think resolution, for me, it's always like the same thing. Like, there's always career, then fitness goals, and then family stuff or friends, like social aspect. So one of the biggest things, I guess, for me is I'm still trying to find the balance between work and, I guess, social, like family, friends. Like I feel like every year it's just slowly tweaking. Like I'm the type of person I get too obsessed when it comes to work. So I'm really trying to dial that down and spend more time with friends and family for sure. So relationships is something like same as Tony. It's pretty big for me. Especially I want to get closer with my parents. I think that's a big thing for me because the relationship with my parents is not the greatest. Yeah, I would say like especially with my dad, right? They didn't really take care of me, so now I forgive them, but it does take time to adjust, kind of get used to that,
Like growth.
Yeah, and then like when he puts his hand, he tried to give you a hug, it still feels weird. Even I try to give him a hug, and it feels weird.
Really?
So
Oh shit.
I don't.
I've
We never
hugged my
hug.
dad before.
I never hug my dad.
Same.
I do a little pat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pat on
Oh
the
really? I
shoulders.
don't even do that.
Oh, okay.
my
No,
God.
I feel like we should start doing that because it's
It's up to us.
Hands
ultimately.
it's up to us to
Hands
change
down,
it.
hands
They're
down.
not gonna change.
Yeah, they're
because,
not.
Well, they're like so old. They're very traditional.
That's how they were
mindset.
raised, so you can't blame.
You
them,
can't
right?
blame them.
Yeah.
So we have to change. So that's why I try to do it, and I try to try to understand him more. But of course, he's quite stubborn. So there's
Why are you
that.
touching me? Why
Yeah.
you put your arm over my shoulder?
Yeah, but hey, if he says thank you, that's already a huge plus for me.
That's huge,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's huge.
Nice.
It means he's loved me, but
Sweet.
he never says it.
No,
Yeah.
no, Asian people don't ever say that.
Yeah.
They give you food.
You know,
That's what
now
it
that
is.
you say it, I didn't hug my grandpa until he got into his older years too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we did when we were little kids, because then like you're
You're young.
like, oh, don't forget to hug your grandparents. And you're like, okay, here you go. And then but once you get into your teenager years, kind of stop doing that a little bit. And then when they got older, you'd be like, oh, hey, during like your family meetings, you're like, oh, how are you doing?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, so yeah, just relationship stuff and probably work on more of myself, like psychology, kind of figure out why I do certain things, try to improve, but that's like usually every
Always
year.
improve. Yeah.
Yeah, always
Nice.
improve is the
For sure.
biggest
Self
thing.
growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then create a project. So this one here, and then another one I have in the works, but can't really say anything yet in case it fails. So,
If it
But-
fails and nothing ever happened.
but
You
yeah,
know, it's on
just
there.
probably just these three things are pretty big for me. Yeah.
Solid.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
I think I'm a little bit similar. My dad's getting up in the age, so I really want to kind of get closer with him. I don't know. He's always saying, like, joking to me, like he doesn't know how much time he has left, kind of thing. Because
Oh,
he's really
man.
getting up there.
Yeah.
So I had dim sum with him last week, and he's like, his hair is really receding,
Oh.
Yes.
which is already a thing. But it's like I guess I haven't seen him for a few weeks or months, so it's like significantly.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I gotta really focus on that.
Family
And then,
and-
yeah.
Just try
really
to
emphasize on
do
that.
something before it's too late. So that's something I keep telling myself, and I don't see my parents that often.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like every couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something you realize every time you see them. You're like, oh man, they're getting old.
Yeah.
We're getting at that
Like,
age.
Yeah, you start kind of putting that for me. I used to hate them a lot, but start putting that hate and start to forgive and see from their perspective they tried the best, but I have to learn that's their way of loving.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that's what I'm saying, like working on myself to really mend this before it's too late. It's the biggest thing.
Yeah, like every
100%.
time you see them, the salt and pepper hair gets a little bit
Yeah,
more-
and it
more
makes you
salty.
feel-
a little bit more salty.
Yeah.
It makes the heart kind of
a
like
little bit less
ooh.
peppery.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing. And then with friends too, right? Spend more time with friends because, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right? At the end, the career is gonna go away when you get older, but friends and families is what stays.
Exactly.
See, that's kind of interesting. Is when as you get older, your time really it shortens. Like it's way more valuable.
Yeah, you value time a lot more.
And it passes way faster. It's
Yeah,
just weird.
but I think it's because
Exactly.
when you're younger too, it's everyone's kind of like hustling. You want to focus on your career because everyone's focused on their career.
Yeah.
But I think we're at that stage where we're starting to realize that career is not everything.
Yeah. You can't sacrifice like your
Relationships,
family,
yeah.
relationships, your parents, and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Health, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
In terms of goals, maybe get back. Well, I'm sort of in the dating scene now.
Oh, let's
And
talk more about that. Like,
Yeah.
forget everything
That's a
else.
whole episode on its own.
Oh my
I
god.
know, these guys are gonna grill me like crazy, but like, I'm in the dating scene now. We'll see how things go. It's been a while for me, but I'll leave that for
Another special podcast.
Full
Podcast.
2-hour special. Dating special.
Just about Derek's dating life.
Who knows? That might even be on our Patreon. that's really juicy.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't know what else I would really want to focus on. Like, I always admire those that can keep their
Resolutions.
the resolutions on there. And I do have a few friends that have done it, but like a lot of the people when they suggest resolutions is like, don't make it unattainable. So like one of my friends, he actually he made a resolution was he wasn't going to eat any French fries for the whole year, and he did it. I was like, I offered him one. I totally forgot he had a resolution. He was like, no, it's my New Year's resolution to
Whoa.
not eat French fries.
You're such an
I'm
enabler.
like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Why French fries?
I think it's because it was deep fried and like unhealthy. So he chose
Oh.
one unhealthy food.
Oh,
Whoa.
And
that's
he
pretty good.
decided
That's
not
pretty
to-
That's
not
like
to
the
eat
hardest
that.
one he chose too, I think.
But he's still eating like chips on the side. So it's like, oh,
Same
it's kind of weighing it out.
The chip
But-
cake and like dramatically.
But he's taking his. I see it. It works. Like
Yeah.
one thing at a time instead of like wiping like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
all
right?
fried food, yeah.
Yeah.
Or all potatoes.
Yeah,
that'd be
and I
hard.
have another friend this year. We'll see how far she gets. She says she's going to cut out alcohol entirely this year.
Ooh.
And
That's
I was
tough.
like,
Isn't that like a pretty extreme resolution though? Like whether it's like,
All alcohol?
yeah, quitting all of something, or let's say people say, I want to go to the gym like every day for a month or 2 months. Like it's so extreme that it's you know you're not going to stick.
Yes.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I feel some people can do it though.
Yeah.
Some
depends.
extreme type
Yeah,
personalities.
like,
that can do
if
it.
you like, even for alcohol, it's like it really depends on if you drink it on the regular or not, because it's more like like for her, I know she drinks it on special occasions
Oh.
and like birthdays and whatnot. So I think it might be slightly easier for her to do that, because all you need to do is keep in mind during those special occasions, birthdays and whatnot, be like, okay, no alcohol. I'll just drink orange juice
Right.
or something like
So-
that kind of thing.
Versus somebody that's literally drinking alcohol right now.
So real question, Derek. Do you think she can do it?
Oh,
Ooh, I think she can. She's
Really?
one of those
Really?
people that she puts her mind to it. She can
Okay.
really.
Are you gonna give her alcohol to test her, like what you did with your friend with French fries?
Hey, that was unintentional. I totally forgot about it. Like,
wait, is this the friend or a special friend?
no, just a friend. No, just a
No,
friend.
we have to know. We have to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can try and test it out. And if we have a birthday coming up, be like, so here.
Nice. Nice. Let's see. So for my new year, I'm thinking gotta get closer with my dad, and then
Yes.
I need to be a closer part of my, or sorry, a bigger part of my niece's life, and also my two nephews' life. I've been pretty slacking, but I've been able to blame it on COVID. But I don't really like the idea of me being like almost like stranger level to them.
Yeah.
So I really gotta integrate myself into their lives.
How old are they right now?
What?
I think my niece is grade 2.
So
Yeah,
what,
that's pretty
That's
bad.
like
Like
seven-ish?
I think, or grade 3.
7, 8-ish then.
And then my nephew, shit. See, that's
Oh
how
man, that's how
bad.
great of an
Yeah,
uncle.
yeah.
You gotta be that cool uncle.
I know.
Yo,
I know.
Derek, look what you did. You just called Ricky out,
Yeah.
put him on the spot.
So
Now he's
I gotta really get more involved. And then part 2, I want to hopefully, if this podcast goes anywhere, I want to work on it a little bit more, improve my skills for editing and everything. Public speaking is a big thing. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how we're going so far, and looking forward to more changes and more improvement for this year.
Yeah.
More guests.
More guests, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
we might even have like special guests come on.
Right.
So, but at first, like they have to be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
speaking. So you know, we'll be on the lookout.
Right.
Get some pretty people for
And-
this podcast.
For the thumbnail, for the view.
yeah. And then for career wise, so I'm gonna be improving my skills in February, so I'll be gone for that, and then
Oh, you're
hopefully-
doing training outside
Yeah,
of that?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully, following a new path with
Oh,
work
nice.
and see where that takes me. So I feel like the cap or the ceiling for this path is a little bit higher. So we'll see.
Okay.
Exciting news.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like we all have stuff to work on, some plans.
Mm-hmm. Some new changes coming up, and
Hopefully.
so I think that was a pretty good episode so far.
Yeah, pretty good discussion.
Mm-hmm. And with that, thank you very much for tuning in. This is our COVID and 2022 special. And if you like this episode, please share it with your friends. Maybe take a screenshot of what you're listening to and post it on your story. That's a big thing. Let other friends know that you're listening to this episode.
Yeah, and let us know if there's any topics you want us to talk about, or if you want to hear more about Derek's dating life. Definitely comment on it.
Yeah.
So or could that could be on Patreon?
Yeah, we'll
that
see.
Could be another juicy special there.
Be sure to hit like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes.
We're also on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And thank you very much for tuning in today.
Yeah. See you guys on the next one.
See you in the next one.